All right, man, we back. Goodfellas Sports TV. Let's talk some NBA. We'll talk a little bit towards the middle of the end of the video about Iman Shumpert signing with the Brooklyn Nets, but also James Harden out tonight, whoever they play. But let's talk a little bit about them in general. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And what's kind of worrying me about the Brooklyn Nets is they don't play no defense. And some people say, well, the name of the game is to score more points than your opponent. But also at times, when that shot ain't falling, people say, well, it's hard to see not, Joe Harris and James Harden and Kyrie and KD shot not falling at the same time. But, I don't think they really killers on the board neither. Him and Kyrie getting 60 plus a night and they giving up 70 plus a night. I don't see the defense in this team. They add Andre Drummond. Somehow he became a better defender this year. I don't know if it's the philosophy of Cleveland. He wasn't no good defender in Detroit, especially when he used to go up against Joel Embiid. Now, if they do add him, he playing better defense, and maybe he understand the concept of defense a lot better, year whatever he in. But at the same time, Brooklyn just don't have the makeup of a team. Forget the bubble, okay? And this is just like the bubble, just with some travel. They make it a little bit harder to win a championship this year than the bubble. The bubble is garbage. But at some point, you got to get stops. At some point, every championship team had to get stops, critical stops. And, in this early, it's a little bit premature, but Brooklyn, from what I've seen, haven't shown me that they can get stops. Brooklyn haven't shown me that they can play team defense. And, team defense ain't made up of, five good individual defenders. Team defense is exactly what it is. It's being a great team defense. You can have 5 great individual defense and they still not play great team defense. Calling out screens, help defense. And the number one thing about defense and even rebounding, you got to be willing defender. If you're not going to be a willing defender, you could be the fastest, you can jump the highest, you can do everything. Lateral quickness was run fast. But if you ain't a willing defender or willing rebounder, you're not going to be successful at this level. And you got to be willing. And what I seen from Kyrie and James Harden, they're not willing. Then you can't expect KD to be the defender that he was in Golden State, especially coming off an Achilles injury. You can't expect him to be the defender that he once was. It's going to take some time if he ever to get back there. So, like I said with Brooklyn, man, I just don't see where the defense is going to come from, not with Iman Shumpert on that, without Iman Shumpert being there. I don't know. When your backcourt is that. Look at the balance that, Golden State got when Klay healthy. Klay is able to take on the 1s, the 2s, and 3s of the world. He able to guard multiple positions. Who on this team that you could say could guard multiple positions, especially with KD might be being the guy physically that he was before the injury. Who is going to be that guy that's going to lock in? I don't see it. You look at the Lakers, you got Anthony Davis, and, this is why Portland never got over the hump. Who gonna get a stop between Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum? They can score all the points in the world. Who gonna get a stop? Who gonna bite down to get a stop? And with Brooklyn, they can score all the points they want to score and put all the pressure. But at some point, it's gonna stop raining. At some point, you gotta dig down, be gritty, and play defense. And they just don't have the look of a champion right now. You can talk about all that offense. Even with the championships that LeBron won, defense was critical. Very critical into what they was doing. So if you ain't got 2 willing defenders right here, more than likely, if they win, they're gonna have to get on an epic shooting road. Remember people talking about Golden State being the first jump shooting team to win a championship, shooting that many shots. Remember Kyrie and Kevin Love wasn't healthy. And LeBron gave them all he wanted and some. All they wanted and some. At some point, you got to get a stop. If Golden State jumpers stop falling, nobody on this team, maybe KD, is a better shooter than those guys. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. So if they can run, if they jumper can't fall at some points, what you think about Kyrie and James Harden, dog? These ain't guys that's gonna be able. They not versatile shooters as Klay and Steph. Klay and Steph can catch and shoot. They can shoot it off the rhythm. They are some of the best shooters you're gonna see. James Harden is one of them dudes. He a rhythm shooter. He dribble the ball, get himself a rhythm, bam. Kyrie is they got to trade one of them dudes, to be honest. And I'm being honest, I'm not hating. I don't have no ill will towards Brooklyn. But they got to trade one of those guys. If it's more than likely got to be Kyrie. And maybe they say, we see how it worked this year and adjust in the offseason. It's just not going to work. And people look at me when you're talking about like Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas being a better backcourt. And you got a few other ones that were some really good backcourts back in the day. And saying they was better, people will be like, well, or Steph and Clay was a better backcourt than them. People were like, well, Kyrie won this many All-Stars. And as individuals, James Harden is probably one of the better NBA players you're going to find throughout history as an individual, as a regular season guy. But as a postseason guy, and when you need a bucket, he ain't that guy. And Kyrie, he can't sustain throughout the regular season with being healthy. You could tell Kyrie don't do no lifting. And I got to agree with LeVar. When they was having Lonzo and Lakers do them resistant bands, that don't build muscle. Them little weights, that's why these dudes ain't got no durability no more. Remember guys, the NBA was looking like Kevin Willis was looking, and I forget, I don't know if it's Kevin. Yes, Kevin Willis. I think he from Detroit, played for the Hawks, a few other teams. How Dale Davis and Antonio Davis used to look, and Scottie Pippen they don't make NBA players. Dennis Rodman used to look. Shaq used to how they was built. They don't make them like that no more. This advanced strength and conditioning and medicine. Kyrie had never played games because he don't have no armor. Your muscle is your armor, and I don't think they're gonna win it this year. At all. If Philadelphia is able to swing Bradley Beal, I think they're gonna come out. They're gonna come out the East for sure. If they not, Boston got to find a way to find somebody to replace Kemba. Well, I mean, maybe they do a Kemba for Ben Simmons swap. Boston got the shooter where I don't think they want to help each other. They might see each other, but Brooklyn might come out the East by default. But when you talking about you need a stop, I don't see either one of them dudes getting a stop. You can't put KD on everybody. I don't see them dudes getting a stop. I just don't see it, man. And maybe they can just get to the line to score. But right now, they're not defending. They giving up like hundreds of points to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then obviously them playing with no fans, people gonna score a lot better. Real spill, I flip Kyrie, man, for somebody, for like a 2-guard. I'll probably flip him if I could flip him for Ben Simmons. That's a perfect situation for Ben Simmons. You around James Harden, maybe Ben can't play with James. They gotta find somebody that can play with James, but Kyrie durability, he ain't that. It ain't gonna work, man. And now if they had a guy like Chris Paul, if he was healthy enough, even though he wouldn't work with James Harden, they may work, but they probably got to find somebody of the 2 variety who could defend and shoot the rock. But Brooklyn don't have enough defense. You talking about adding Iman Shumpert, that might help. Iman Shumpert 6'6", so he can cover some 1s, some 2s, some 3s in this league. I really think they could. He could help. And Bruce Brown, he can defend. They got some good individual defenders. KD when he on right, they got some really good individual defenders. But, team defense. They need team defense. I think Iman Shumpert can get them a good individual defender. But if he can't shoot the ball or penetrate and kick, if he can't shoot the ball, they're going to be in trouble. So, they got to find a way to move Kyrie or get some lineups with James playing with Bruce Brown or Kyrie playing with Bruce Brown or James Harden playing with Iman Shumpert or Kyrie playing with Iman Shumpert in the backcourt. Because Iman going to be able to get those stops. Bruce going to be able to get some stops. I was there a couple years ago when Bruce did an excellent job in the first half on Kawhi Leonard at the Palace. But, Bruce just can't mount no offense. And right now in this league, offense is more important than defense. But I think Bruce Brown will be able to help them. If they're able to get Drummond, he's secure by. I think he'd be able to help them. But to be honest, they need somebody that can really clear that back half, like a prime Dwight Howard, Ben Wallace. If Andre Drummond can, he'd do the dirty work. If Andre Drummond could defend the rim for them, that'd go a long way with DeAndre Jordan helping them along the way. That'd be their best case scenario. Because Detroit has some good team defense, but with Chauncey and Rip, they wasn't always great defenders, They wasn't always great defenders. So, Ben Wallace cleaned up a lot of that. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Check out the NBA Talk playlist. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, card response, or video request. All my social media links, description. Fast way to reach me is Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Want to make a donation? Cash App CJ Good 313. Share the video. Best way to donate one time.